As you are getting situated, let's just give it up for Chase Fierro. Wonderful performance tonight. Chase and I go to church together, and sometimes he helps lead worship, and it's always such a joy to hear him play. He's so talented. My name is Josiah Swanson, and I'm so honored to be welcoming you to the Granada Theater for this very special evening. Now, I hear we have record attendance this year. Praise the Lord for that. And so I recognize that many of you are probably new to Network Medical and what it is they do, so let me make it really simple for you. Network Medical is here to serve women, strengthen families, and save lives. Big stuff, important stuff. You know, these past couple of weeks in the Bible study at my house, some friends and I have been thinking about what the Bible has to say about what it means to be human. We've been looking at Genesis chapters 1 and 2, and something that's struck me afresh is how unique humans are and how valuable they are to God. Yes, humans were formed from the dust like all the other creatures, but Adam was uniquely given breath from God himself, wasn't he? The Bible tells us that humans are created in God's image. You will never find a dog or a dolphin or a chimpanzee praying to God, but we as humans, Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, eternity is in our hearts. We were made for eternity. We were made for God. And so the sobering truth is that this world is fleeting. Santa Barbara will come and go. The United States will come and go. This whole universe will come and go, but human souls are forever. Therefore, how we treat one another matters. And how we steward the lives of the unborn in our communities, it matters a lot. So when we say that Network Medical is saving lives, that's not a platitude. That's not sentimentalism. We're talking about tangible, practical, eternal impact, right? Last year, 98 babies were born that might not have been born if it weren't for Network Medical. I'm sorry, Jalen, if I'm stealing your thunder a little bit, but I just had to share it. 98 babies. So, as we're here tonight, I hope that you recognize that we are sending shock waves into eternity. Before we get into things, I want to welcome up my friends to pray for our evening. Brandon Benjamin is the young adults leader at Calvary Chapel, Santa Barbara, a phenomenal surfer. He's been on quite a tear recently, winning the Rincon Classic for the second year in a row. What? An amazing surfer from South Africa, but more important than that, a dedicated husband and father, and my brother in Christ. Let's welcome up Brandon.
Man, Josiah, huh? Look at this. You guys ready to pray? Oh, man. Yeah, God, we're just so thankful, first of all, God, that we get to gather here as your body. God got a movement that says we want to pray first before we start. Yeah, that's how you do it. You start with prayer, and so we want to start with a heart that is just grateful this evening. And God, then we also just want to realize that there's something at stake here. And there's something at stake for all of us here tonight. And that is eternity. Eternity. But the problem with that is that we have sinned before you. We have fallen short from that. But the good news is that God, you are merciful. And amidst your mercy, you said, hey, while you were a sinner and deserving of that sin is death and separation from me for all eternity, you said, I'm going to be rich in mercy to come down. The Son of God, taking on flesh, becoming man, so that men could become sons of God. And so, God, tonight, I pray that whoever came in here without salvation washed over him tonight would not leave the same. And then whoever came in here with just brokenness, who doesn't know their worth, who doesn't know why they were created, who doesn't know why they're suffering, who thinks that they're alone in it, who is too afraid to even speak about it, that they know this. That is a God that's not come to condemn the world, but to save it, to meet us in our low places. And I just think about the God who sees us from our rising up and our laying down, the personable God, the the one that knows us, the one that relates to us through his suffering. And I just love Psalm 139 because it says this in verse 14. It says, I will praise you. Why? Because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, O God, that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you. When I was made in the secret. You family, you were made in the secret with the Lord of all creation. In the secret. And he said, skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance, being yet unformed. And in your book, they were all written. The days fashioned for me, when yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, there would be more than the number, the count of the sand. And today, family, that is the God who loves you. That was the God that says, come and let me give you peace. And that is the God that has given us, the body of Christ, the conviction to fight for that which matters. Fight for that which he has given worth to, which he said it is. And that is you. And that is those that is created in the womb. And so, God, we love you. And so tonight, God, we just think about how you've raised people up like Bethany Hamilton to bring glory to you. And just all the kids that are here tonight, just excited to see you, God. Yeah, because it's Christ in her. And so, God, would we fix our eyes on you tonight, and with this night be blessed, great laughter, great joy, and just marveled on your good works. And so we love you, Jesus. Be glorified tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Brandon. So, guys, just by being here, you are making a statement that life matters, that it ought to be preserved and protected and cherished. Now, I've learned that Network Medical does not like to save best for last. They give you the best right up front. And on your way in here, you should have received an envelope. Can you hold up your envelope? If you received one, all right, cool. Please hang on to that until the end of the evening. It's really important. I'm going to tell you about what you'll find inside. Should come up here. The giving form. So at the top of this giving form, you'll have the opportunity to fill out some general information. Please make sure to put your email so that we can send you a receipt later. Also, I encourage you to put the name of your church so that we can encourage your pastors about your presence with us tonight. You guys need to know that there are two main ways that you can partner with Network Medical tonight. Firstly, a one-time gift. There are many ways you can do that. Cash, credit card, a check. We prefer US dollars, but we'll take what you have, whatever you can fit in the envelope. Secondly, you can pledge to be a monthly supporter. The important number you need to know is $1,200. $1,200 is what is required to get a pregnant woman across the finish line, to support her through her pregnancy, birth, and those first few years of motherhood. Folks, that's just $100 a month. That's going to cover things like the ultrasound, medical supplies, payroll for the network medical employees. And I just want to let you know, it's not every day that you have an opportunity to make your dollars count towards something so impactful, something eternal, right? Now you might be sitting there thinking, hey, I already give. Well, we have a checkbox for you as well. And if you could just write the amount that you're already giving. And this is super important. Towards the end of the night, after you fill out your giving form and put it in your envelope and seal it up, please write the total amount that you will be giving over the course of the next year on the back of the envelope, okay? So if you're just giving a one-time gift of, let's say, $20, you're just going to write a 20. If you're going to be giving $100 a month, 100 times 12, 1,200, you'll write on the back of that envelope. The reason being, at the end of the night, we're going to add up all of the giving. And to make our adder-uppers' lives easier, having that number on the back of the envelope will just make our lives simpler and get you out of here on time, okay? Want to make a note on special giving opportunities that you might not have thought of. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, qualified deductions from retirement accounts, real estate, business interest, legacy giving. If any of this is applicable to you, I encourage you to check those boxes, and someone will be getting back to you shortly and making that giving happen. Finally, I just want to let you know that there's a spot for you to indicate interest in things like mentor training, post-abortion healing, and clinic tours. I just had my first clinic tour a few weeks ago, and it was very eye-opening. It really helped me to see the wonderful work that Network Medical is doing. Now I would like to invite up our executive director. Jalen Lay is a transplant of Texas of more than 24 years, where she was born and raised. While she loves California for its warm weather and beautiful beaches, she is still a proud Texan at heart. She received her bachelor's in finance from the University of Texas in Austin and is an accomplished medical malpractice attorney. About a month ago, I was praying and I was asking the Lord to show me some opportunities to get involved in the pro-life movement here in town, and along came Jalen. She is a powerful force for life, a strong leader, and my sister in Christ. Let's welcome up Jalen Lay.
Good evening. Welcome. I hear that we are sold out. Can you believe it? I don't like it. I don't like it. There's people outside that aren't able to get in, but I am just blown away at what is happening here tonight. I want to since there's a lot of people here, a lot more people than are usually here, I want to just give you a quick rundown of what the evening's going to look like, so you know what to expect. They're going to let me talk for just 10 minutes, so don't worry, I won't be up here very long. But I'm going to convince you why you should support Network Medical. So it's pretty important. After that, we are going to have Bethany come up, and she's going to talk for about 30 to 40 minutes and give her presentation. This is where it gets a little tricky, and we're going to need your help. If you aren't here to give and you're just here to see Bethany, totally fine. We get it. Everybody wants to see Bethany. But we're going to ask you to please just go ahead and stay in your seats, because what's going to happen is we're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes collecting giving envelopes and calculating how much is being raised tonight. And we're going to get to announce it at the end. So what we need is the aisles to stay free so our ushers can move about the theater freely, quickly, and safely. But we're not going to leave you hanging. Bethany's going to come back out and do a Q&A during that time. So you really do want to stick around to the very end. All right, so tonight is a celebration of the work that Network Medical Women's Center does in our community. Our mission, as you've heard, is to serve women with incredible, invaluable medical services, strengthen the bonds of family in our community, and to save lives. It's pretty simply stated, but I can tell you a lot goes into fulfilling this mission. And you'll get to hear about it as we go through the evening. Everyone on this stage tonight reflects that mission. We'll go ahead and take that slide down. Thank you. We'll get to that in just a second. Brandon Benjamin, he's a family man and youth leader at Calvary Chapel. He pours his heart into the next generation, saving lives. Our MC, Josiah Swanson, his heart is for equipping the next generation with joy, courage, and eternal purpose. And my heart, guys, my heart is to see strong, healthy families in our community thriving. And I am super blessed to have two of my family members here tonight. My mom, Georgia, is here from Texas. Yes. Love you, Mama. And my sister, Crystal, from Colorado. If it wasn't for this praying mama, people, I don't know where I'd be. I know that I would not be on this stage. Mine is a story of the wayward daughter, the prodigal daughter, come home. So, Mama, in front of this entire audience, I want to thank you. Thank you for always believing me. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for praying me through the hard stuff and for being my best friend. And Sissy, thank you for being my best friend too. Thank you for sharing the highs and the lows, the peaks and the valleys of life with me, like only a sister can. I love you two so much. All right, so I'm going to really get started now, and this is when the 10 minutes start. Not yet, guys. Network Medical Women's Center is a 501c3 nonprofit medical clinic licensed by the state of California to provide free medical services to women in our community. We provide lab-grade pregnancy tests. Okay, great, thanks. Ultrasounds and STI testing and treatment. Beyond that, we provide support services to women, including community resources. We can go ahead and throw that slide up now. And referrals, along with emotional support for women in their time of crises. Oh, good, I get to see you some. An unplanned pregnancy is a crisis to a young woman. This moment needs to be met with compassion, love, and most importantly, non-judgment. She is in need of quick, free medical services and emotional support. Whether she is thinking abortion, parenting, undecided, or adoption, every woman's next step is the same. She needs an ultrasound, which we will get to do for her, free of charge, thanks to donors like you. This is her next step, because she needs 3 key pieces of information that only an ultrasound is going to provide her. 1, does she have a viable pregnancy? Meaning, does the baby have a heartbeat? Guys, 1 in 5 pregnancies end naturally in a miscarriage. So a positive pregnancy test is just that. It's a positive pregnancy test. She needs an ultrasound to determine whether the baby has a heartbeat and is growing, is developing. Otherwise, she will miscarry. A baby's heartbeat can be detected on the ultrasound as early as 5 weeks, 4 days. Secondly, she needs to know if her pregnancy is in her uterus and not a potentially life-threatening ectopic pregnancy growing in her fallopian tubes or elsewhere. Taking the abortion pill, if she has this kind of pregnancy, can be life-threatening to her, and it can be avoided by a simple ultrasound. So my young ladies in the audience, please, no matter what you are considering as your choice, please come see us for an ultrasound. You do not need to put your life in jeopardy. And third, what is the gestational age of the fetus? This is incredibly important for the woman that's considering abortion, because the FDA has only approved the chemical abortion, the abortion pill, up to 10 weeks. Up to 10 weeks, people. After that, a surgical abortion is always indicated. Sadly, at Network Medical, we see women all the time who are being coerced, who are being pressured by boyfriends, family members, and friends to have abortions when they really actually don't want to. Or their decision is being driven by fear of an unknown future if they were to choose parenting. Our data in 2025 shows this. A whopping 76% of women that came to us believing that abortion was going to be their only option based on their circumstances ended up choosing to parent because they got the support and the medical services that they needed at Network Medical. And yes, Josiah stole my thunder. 98 women, 98 lives, 98 babies being born, and my favorite, 98 new or growing families in this community. Every single one of them are happy that they chose to parent in the end. This is solely because they got the support that they needed at Network Medical, whether that support was material, financial, emotional, or spiritual. But I'm biased. I love what I do, so we don't need to take my word for it. I pulled some Google reviews. Let's throw up the first one, please. This one is from 11 months ago. I was met with much kindness, respect, and a listening ear. They were great educators throughout, answering any questions I had. It was also very easy to get an appointment. Thank you, Network Medical. The next slide, please. This one's 6 years ago, but it really makes my point. My girlfriend and I left Planned Parenthood to come here. We wanted to be able to see the ultrasound, and Planned Parenthood would not let us. The staff was very friendly here and never once tried to encourage us, even subtly, one way or another, which was very helpful and relieving to my girlfriend, as she was scared and unsure of what to do at the time. If you're looking for a clean facility, I'm so glad we're clean, with good people that actually help and don't make decisions for you, this is the place to go. And finally, the last slide, please. This was a year ago. This place not only offers knowledgeable support and care, but they bring healing to the places you need it most. And they help you travel the challenging journeys we face as women with strength, love, and wisdom. O'Reilly guided me through registration and answered questions with so much compassion and understanding. Carolyn, who's one of our nurses, comforted and encouraged me as she provided information so that I could make the best decisions for my life, my health, and my future. They're a beautiful place to turn to for medical care. Now, beyond our medical services, we strengthen families by providing wraparound support to both our patients and to families in the community. We'll throw up the next slide. We're going to throw up the resource slide. There we go. Thank you. So here's just a sample of the community resources and referrals that we have available, and we have so much more. If you're a single mom in the crowd, you know it is hard to raise babies on your own, but it's not impossible. My mama did it, and I know many of yours did too. At Network Medical, we believe in our patients, and we work tirelessly to get them the support and the resources that they need. At the end of the day, we want to ensure that their decision about their pregnancy is not being driven by fear or coercion or pressure from others. We want to make it so that each patient doesn't have to walk through the doors of an abortion clinic if she really doesn't want to. Now, of course, if she does have an abortion, we are still here for her too, and we often have women come back to see us. According to the National Institute of Health, 81% of women and men will suffer emotionally after an abortion. 81%. Sometimes it's immediate. Sometimes it surfaces years later. Sometimes it looks like alcohol or drug addiction, unidentified or generalized anger, depression, or thoughts of suicide. As a college student that had an abortion at the age of 22, I can relate with all of those things. For the church, guys, we have 1 in 4 pregnancies and abortions happening in our pews. There are a lot of hurting people out there. Please, seek help. I will personally be leading a post-abortion support recovery class early this summer, and I invite you to join me if you have had an abortion. It takes courage to face it, but together, we can journey the path of healing. Guys, it's life-changing. And you're not alone. Statistically speaking, there are about 400 of us here tonight. So please, 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 take that first step. Take that step of courage. Check that box tonight for post-abortion healing, and I will contact you in the next 60 days. Your information will remain confidential, I promise. And finally, the main speaker tonight to take the stage is someone whose entire life represents faith, family, and courage. We are so stoked to bring you Bethany Hamilton.
All right. I'm announcing Bethany. Thank you very much. I do want to let you guys know that after Bethany speaks, we are going to be having a Q&A with her, so please stick around for that. Okay, Bethany Hamilton is a Hall of Fame professional surfer, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and mother of 4 from Hawaii. After surviving a shark attack at age 13 that took her left arm, Bethany defied the odds, returning to professional competition and becoming one of the world's top female surfers. Her life story inspired the major motion picture Soul Surfer. Who's seen it? Yeah. And today she continues to chase her passion for surfing, raising a family, leading impact-driven initiatives, and inspiring audiences worldwide to live with courage, purpose, and faith. Let's give a warm welcome to Bethany Hamilton.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go straight into a video, y'all.
It was like, whoa, this place is crazy.
It feels and sounds like an avalanche when the waves break. With the helicopters flying around and the drones and the jet skis and the boats and all of the stuff that's happening, it just becomes so busy and there's so much energy, and then these giant sets come through and people are wiping out. All this really radical stuff is happening, and it's like, I don't think there's anywhere in the world that is so intense.
Jaws, it is a crazy wave. This is where all the crazy surfers go that have like just a different blood running through their vein. And ever since I was a young girl, I wanted to surf Jaws. I often would be surfing bigger waves than maybe was age appropriate. I think having 2 older brothers helped inspire that. And I had set my sights to surf Jaws 6 months after I had my first baby. So I'm going to share with you, this was one of the scariest surf sessions of my life. It's not like the other types of surfing. It's the scarier version of surfing. But of course, I have a lifetime of preparation to surf Jaws, but obviously I just had the baby, so there's a little extra preparation that I had to prepare my body and my mind to surf something so chaotic as this wave. And I got a coach to help show me the ropes out there, figure out the lineup, and I remember paddling out thinking, like, you could just feel the blood flowing through my body. There was no need for caffeine, no need for any sort of extra energy, because the ocean put the energy all in me because it was that scary. I'm going to take you guys through an exercise as we envision ourselves out there. We're out there at Jaws in the deep blue. There's a big set wave coming. And I'm like, oh, my coach is like, paddle hard, big set. We're paddling as fast as we can on our huge old surfboards. I realize as I'm getting closer to this set, I'm not going to make it. So what happens when you don't make it? It ain't pretty. So everyone, we're going to take 3 big breaths. 1, 2 breaths actually, because you don't always get 3. Okay, and hold. You're getting shoved into a sleeping bag, zipped up and shaken all about. There's nothing you can do to set yourself free. You're being tumbled, disoriented. It's completely out of control, and there's nothing you can do to change the situation. I'm getting tumbled until finally we're released. Okay, you can breathe. Moments like this in the ocean are scary. But I look out the back, and there's 5 more set waves coming. So then you just kind of have to like hunker down, hone in on your breath, and take it on the head. I share this because sometimes life can feel like this 5-wave set. And it's not pretty, and it's not what you envisioned, and it's not even on your schedule, your plan. It's not the life that you chose. And yet you get the 5-wave set. You get the first one, you're like, whoa, that was rough. Then you get 5 more. And for me, that first set in my life, I'm not talking about the ocean anymore, right? The first set wave I got on my head happened when I was just 13 years old. We're going to go back to that season in my life. Oh, the video's not working? Oh, shucks. Okay, so little 13-year-old Bethany, invincible, ready to charge. She's surfing each and every day. She already wants to be the best in the world, and she's out there surfing with her best friend. Boom, arms gone. Life slipped upside down. First set wave on the head for little Bethany. I feel like life throws these moments of chaos our way, and maybe it's God allowing it so that we can rely on him, so that we can look to him. How often the world does not point to him, and yet we need him in the darkest hour. The woman struggling to want to keep her baby because the world has told her it's not possible and that she would be better off without her own offspring is struggling to believe that she can, as she's getting pummeled with thoughts of fear, doubt, discouragement, and the voices of like, you're better off without your own child. This day, though, for me, it changed everything, and God has taught me so much through my adversity. This has become one of my greatest teachers, is going through the chaos, going through the 5-wave sets. That's where God refines us. That's where he molds us and shapes us into the person that he wants us to be. And better yet, he molds us to look to him. I'm thankful that little Bethany had a childlike faith. And if you don't have faith tonight, I hope that you'd be open to hearing what I have to share for you, because I know that surfing has given me so much, but my firm foundation is not just me being strong. It's not me just pursuing surfing endlessly, but it's me having a God that I know loves me and will carry me through every set wave that takes me out. And I believe that he wants to do the same for each and every one of you. So after I lost my arm, though, I remember waking up in the hospital and it was just like, whoa, my arm is gone. This began the journey of adapting. I was so thankful to have this therapist come in, and he's like, hey, there's going to be a long list of things you can do and a short list of things you can't do. But the long list, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to figure out a different way of doing things. And that really set my mind to like, okay, there's a lot I can do. Like, losing an arm isn't the end. But I'm going to have to adapt along the way. So tonight I'm going to share with you a framework that I have picked up over the years, a framework that's helped me to face those 5 set waves with resiliency and joy and a strength that only God can bring. Excuse me. I'm feeling the tickle coming on. So as we adopt, we're going to start with appreciative. The practice of finding joy that is already here. Each and every day, there's something we can look to be grateful for. Guys, I'm not perfect at this. I don't wake up thinking what I'm grateful for every single day, but I strive to, and I know that God calls me to this. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will for you in Christ Jesus. You know, I think life is going to throw us set waves that surprise us and challenges that come along the way. And maybe you're not facing that right now, but if you can set up the habit today, tonight, every time you lay down in your bed to think on the day, even if it didn't go perfect, what am I grateful for? Because I woke up in the hospital as 13-year-old Bethany, and I was so grateful to be alive. And that appreciation really carried me forward. Instead of dwelling on the loss and the pain and the chaos and like something that I never believed would have happened to me, I dwelled on gratitude. I thanked God that I was still alive. It was a very long journey from where I lost my arm to getting to the hospital. And I very well could have died, but the Lord had more for my life. And so I want to challenge you guys tonight, as you adapt in life, to remember to be appreciative. And when you can live that out each and every day, then when the set wave hits, and you're already in this mindset of appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness, like, it's so easy to dwell on the negative, but let's direct ourselves to dwell on what is good and beautiful and right in this life. The world, if you're on social media, the world is going to point out all the negative, unless you train your algorithms to send you the good. But you're going to get a lot of negative on there, and there's a lot of chaos, and I don't think we're meant to burden this each and every day. So instead, turn the social media noise off, and let's be appreciative. And I promise you, life will go better. In your marriage, in your school, in your work, wherever it is that you're struggling, maybe your health. Choose to look to God and His abundance and be grateful for what you can be grateful for. And I often think of like just God alone. I'm grateful for His grace in my life, that He will carry me through the ups and the downs. And that is something I can be grateful for every day. Okay, as we adapt, we are directed. So I think sometimes when life gets really hard and challenging, we can kind of lose our way and kind of lose our focus on the meaning and the purpose and the joys that are in front of us. And so remembering to direct our life, to like think about where you want to go and how are you going to get there. I don't care how young you are. You can be a 7-year-old and start directing yourselves, with your mama's help, of course, or your dad. But I'm just saying, like, you can choose to like eat healthier, or go outside and get some sunshine, or turn the TV off, or turn the social media off, and direct yourself towards what you're passionate about. Or maybe you're lonely and depressed and you're realizing that you've been scrolling for hours and you're like, oh, I'm going to direct myself to go and connect with someone and leave my phone in the car and connect and find joy and true relationship. There's so much in this life that will derail you if you let it. And so if you can start today, now, thinking, I'm like, how can I direct myself? How can I get into a better place? And I want to challenge you to go a few steps further with this, but if you really want amazing direction in your life, you can look to God. Like, God has painted this life for you that is so good and beautiful and right, and it has, like, His word is full of direction. And I often think of, like, the 10 Commandments, for example. Thou shalt not steal. If someone comes over to your house and steals your car, or steals your favorite earrings, or steals all the food in your fridge, you're kind of like, whoa, why'd you do that? Like, you know, like, God has created this life, this calling on our life to thou shalt not steal for a reason. Thou shalt not commit adultery for a reason. Like, He has painted this good life, and yet society paints the exact opposite. Like, take what you want, do what you want, chase whatever you want. There's no consequences. The lies that are continually being spoken to you day in and day out, and Oftentimes, that 5-wave set is something we actually impaired upon ourselves because we forgot that God had direction for our life, and we chose the way of chaos. And so I challenge you, like, what does God say? What does he want for my life? Is that better than where I'm heading? Can I change direction? And just know, I promise you, like, he has goodness in store for you. Even if it's hard, and even if there's some major challenges along the way, you will at least have a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that you won't find anywhere else. And so I challenge you to remember to direct yourselves, or allow God to direct you better yet. As we adapt, one more final point with direction. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but like protecting our goals, protecting what matters to us, not letting the world kind of water down our purpose or where we're heading, but instead to protect those things that matter. Say no to what's taking you off course and take the little steps back to where you want to go. For me, it wasn't always easy protecting my goals. Oh wait, are we doing videos or are they out? Okay, good, yay, we got a video. Okay, so this is leading me into my point. I had to work hard to protect my goals to get to where I wanted, in surfing in particular. And when you work hard and push past those pain points, that's when the good flows. So we're gonna watch this video, and it's kind of like a picture of like directing myself along the way, a little like visual.
It takes a lot of determination, strength, and willpower to let go and be patient with yourself and go through 100 failures to get that one success. She sent me a text of her doing this sick Air 360. I knew she was very driven and motivated to do it, but to text me a week later, I was blown away.
That feeling of nailing like the gnarliest thing I've ever done felt so crazy good, and just keep feeling that drive. Like, it truly was 100 failures to get to that place. And so remember that as you adapt and go through life and hit those set waves on the head, like, there's going to be wipeouts. And so we're going to have to kind of like work through these seasons of challenge or frustration or doubt. And so directing ourselves can certainly serve us to reach the greater goals. And, you know, to me, this is so much more than just surfing. This is, you know, marriage, mothering, parenting, friendships, business, school, education, like health. These many things require a lot of focus and direction and adapting and trusting in God and looking to him to lead us. So I challenge you to direct yourselves. Okay, as we adapt who we associate with, the place, you know, I think oftentimes when we go through life and the hard times hit, we need someone in our corner to help us get through that, right? Like, for me, that's my family, my close-knit friends, my church community, people who have gone through life through the many ups and downs. I want to pose the idea, too, that this is someone you can be really open and honest with. I think so much of society has gotten watered down, and we kind of lie our way through life. We don't really tell the truth. We keep it very surface level. And so finding people you can trust to carry you through or be open with and bounce off of, a place where our joy and trials are shared, and then we're able to multiply together and forge life together. We're really not meant to do life alone, and social media is not it. I'm fine with social media, but it's not the place where you're really finding that true connection and, who you're going to associate with throughout life. So when that 5-wave set comes and you're on the 4th wave, if you feel like you just can't get through it anymore, they're there for you, and vice versa, you're there for them. So I challenge you, who you're sharing life, to be intentional in this area. Like, God calls us to community, and so I challenge you, who you're sharing life with, how can you get through it better together in the most honest and faithful way? As we adapt, we are persevering. Life truly requires perseverance. One of my favorite Bible verses is John 16:33. It says, "I have said these things to you. In me you will have peace." Not me, referring to God. God saying, "In me you will have peace. In the world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." And I like that verse because it doesn't say that just because you have faith, life is going to be good, perfect, and easy. But it does say that in me you will have peace, even when those 5 set waves hit. When I lost my arm, it was crazy. I had just such a sense of peace that God was with me and that he was going to carry me through it. And I'm not saying it was easy. I'm just saying I had a peace that overrode kind of the stress and the fears and the doubts and the struggles along the way. And I would say I still have that to this day. And so just know, thank you. I think, there's a lot of young people here, but there's many ages here, but having open conversations of life is hard, there's challenges, there's pain points, and while of course I want to focus on gratitude and being grateful, I think having realistic conversations is also really important so that we can be prepared for the 5-wave sets of our life. To know that oftentimes joy is forged through the endurance. The Lord sharpens us through those times that we have to persevere and get through the hardship and the pain points. Or maybe it draws us closer to God because, it's that hard that there's nowhere else we can go. But I like this other verse. "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." I think of my life, and losing my arm at 13 was a lot to face at such a young girl. But then there's been many other trials since then, really, really hard ones. And it continually, I really feel that refinement of well, I need you, Lord, and I need you again, and I need you more each and every day, no matter how together I may seem or be put together. I'm continually humbled and just knowing that I need God to get through this life. And so I think just having the mindset of we need to be prepared and know that we're going to have seasons where we're going to have to persevere. And so that's why I love the appreciation, and we're directed in our community. We're preparing to be able to persevere. We're not going through life passively, just letting it happen to us, and then we have to react real quick, but we're working towards, okay, Lord, what would you have for me, and how can I work through life and the many challenges? And so also I'm what if little Bethany had given up? What if I never got back in the ocean? What if I didn't surf? It's when we overcome those crazy hardships, really cool things happen and flow. Some of the most inspiring humans, it's not because they're just a cool actor, but it's because they've overcame something really hard. And so I challenge you, like, I think the more that you and I overcome, the more we can have a ripple effect on our community around us. Like, my ripple effect through my life that ultimately God orchestrated was so beautiful and rad, and I could never have painted such a beautiful picture of just like goodness coming from something so awful. And so when you persevere, you're inspiring others to persevere, whether it's just your tight-knit group or or beyond. Like, we just need a stronger community more than ever, I think. And when we persevere, we are then creating a stronger community together. And so I just love how God can take something so awful and turn it into something so beautiful. And then he went on to create such an amazing ripple effect. And so I believe that each and every one of you also can have a ripple effect with your life, especially when you persevere through the hardships. As we adapt, we are teachable. This is one of my favorites because I just love being encouraged. I love being coached. I love being mentored. I think everybody needs this in life. And it started young for me. I fell in love with being teachable at a young age because when I was little, I joined my little local surf team, and we had a surf coach. And I realized if I listen to my coach, I'm going to get better at surfing. And so I listened to him, and I did what he said, and I got better at surfing, and I really excelled in my sport. I was highly competitive, and I really thrived in that environment. But I think I attribute much of my success in the sport in particular was I was willing to be teachable. I think so often pride or arrogance can get in the way. Like, we're like, oh, I have it figured out, Mom, I don't want to hear it. Dad, I don't want to hear it. You know, whatever it may be, or maybe you get further on in life and you just forget that you could be taught. Like, if you get stuck, you can go and find someone who is better at it, or who's been there, who's done that, or who's already faced super hard things, and they can give wisdom. They can strengthen you to overcome, to grow in whatever it is that you want to grow. So I continued that throughout my surfing career, and I've adapted to that in other areas of my life. And I think just being willing to be honest with ourselves, allow others to speak into our life, to strengthen us, to overcome, to get better, to persevere, to, you know, find a new strategy, whatever it may be. But I think being teachable is such a great gift in life for lifelong growth. And you will naturally be more joy-filled because you're moving. You're not stagnant. You're not stuck. You know, you're not just sitting in the inside whitewash impact zone, but you're paddling back out, and you're going to go get another good wave because there's more fun waves to be had. So remember, like, if you get to that place in your life where you just feel flat or stuck or bored, or maybe you're adapting to negative habits that are bringing you even further down to a darker place, there's hope for you to open up and find someone to teach you and strengthen you to overcome these challenges. There's so many people that have overcome so many crazy hard things, so why can't you? So I encourage you, as you go forth your life, remember to be teachable and to not let your pride or, you know, your stubbornness hold you back from growth and moving forward and overcoming. And so, you know, what if I hadn't taken the tip, like, to get back in the ocean to surf? Like, I didn't wake up in the hospital thinking, I'm going to surf again. It took someone else incurring that inspiration in my life, and then I was like, oh, maybe I can surf again. And then from there, it was just onward and upward, and it was such a joy to go and compete again and surf again. And then lo and behold, my life went so much further than I ever could have imagined with one arm, and it was just such a joy. But yeah, I challenge you. Like me, I had to adapt. I continue to adapt in my life. physically, mentally, emotionally, and I'm far from perfect, but I know that I have a God on my side who is perfect, and he strengthens me through it all. And I think that's the beauty of life. But yeah, I think it was just so amazing to see how God took my life, my willingness to adopt and keep going and keep paddling back out and showing up. And then the ripple effect was just that much more amazing. And so, yeah, I went on to make the book Soul Surfer. I was only like 15, and I just wanted to be in the ocean. So I know that was quite the uphill battle trying to get a book out of me. But they managed to do it. And then the book did so amazing. So we went on to make Soul Surfer, the movie, and my family started our foundation, Beautifully Flawed. We put on retreats for women with limb difference. And yeah, just so many really cool mission impacting sort of initiatives that have stemmed from something that could have stopped me, stuck me, left me feeling hopeless or discouraged with my life or getting really depressed. I think oftentimes when life feels dark and down, we really have to turn our eyes and focus outward and onward. Otherwise, we'll just be stuck. And so I wanted to share all that because I think it's just the ripple effect that God can create through the 5-wave sets is going to be worth it. And also fast forward to now, I'm a mother of 4, which is probably my greatest joy. I absolutely love being a mom, and I wanted to do a little quick side bunny trail, but when I first found out I was pregnant, I was actually pretty bummed. I wasn't really excited. And I share that because I came from a stable home. There was nothing in my life. I was married, my husband was supportive. Like, there was nothing really taking away from, there was no reason to not be excited, but I think I just had this vision for my life that was different, and yet God's timing was perfect. Now that little cutie that I got pregnant with is now like 10 years old. He's my oldest. But I happen to be filming my documentary, which some of the clips in tonight's talk are from that, and that's why I was bummed, because I was like, we just started filming this documentary, like, are you kidding me? But it just made it that much cool, and we just brought Tobias along for the journey. He had a lot of passports stamped in his passport by the time he turned 1. I remember, like, his first year, we took him on, like, a 13-hour flight when he was, like, almost 1 year old, which was crazy. We did not have good seats either, so it was just, he went along for the ride. But I love tonight's initiative in that everybody needs support along the way. We all need a reminder that we too can adapt, that we too can overcome, that we too can face the trials of this life, face the things that we don't think are possible, and make them possible. And so we need that association. And so I love what Network Medical is doing. You guys are doing God's work truly in a world that says our offspring are a burden and they have no value. And I just think society at large has really turned things upside down and backwards. And oftentimes it's very rooted in selfishness. And so I just love what Network Medical is doing. And I can relate to the woman because I'm like, how in the world did I feel like that? Like, I literally was like instantly filled with lies, and yet God had the greatest gift and joy that I could ever imagine. When I met my little guy, when he first came out, I was like, you instantly would die for them. You don't even know them, and you're like, if I had to, I'll die for you. Like, the most deep, passionate, beautiful love. And I was just talking with someone yesterday, actually. They just had their first. And I'm like, there's no way to explain this love. Like, truly. once you meet your baby, though, you literally become unstoppable. Like, you will do whatever you can for that child. And so these women, they're empowered to, choose life, choose the beauty of motherhood, even though it might not be an easy journey, but it will be so worth it. And so I'm cheering y'all on tonight as you go out into the world to remember that you can adapt, or you can help others to adapt along the way, and that there's a God that loves you, and he will pick you up when you are down. So God bless.
So I was living in Santa Maria, and that's when I got pregnant. I was dating this guy off of Tinder, and basically when I told him I was pregnant, he was like, "You need to get an abortion." That night, I drank a lot. I got in a brawl with my stepdad, Mondo. I was covered in bruises, my shirt was ripped, my clothes were torn, and when I woke up in the hospital, I had handcuffs on me, the police officers were sitting there. Apparently, I kicked the male officer in a not great part of his body. But next thing I knew, I was in jail. And I sat there and I prayed, "Our Father who art in heaven." And when I was done with that, I was singing, "Our God is an awesome God." I didn't see Jesus Christ come down to me, but I felt his spirit fill my soul. And I was changed forever, so yeah. So I had been planning on going to Planned Parenthood because my boyfriend, he had convinced me it was the only option. We didn't have any money, we didn't have a house. My grandma told me that Network Medical was an option and that I could go there. And I decided I should just take a look at the ultrasound. It was free, and I didn't have insurance, so I thought that was my best option because in my heart of hearts, I still wanted to see my little baby because I grew up being abused physically and emotionally, and I just always thought to myself, I want to be a mom and I want to give my kid the life that I never had. I want to make them feel so loved that they never have any doubt in their minds that they are loved and treasured. It was my first ultrasound. I was 8 weeks pregnant, and I saw this little circle with a little worm on top, basically. And I heard her heartbeat, and I started crying, and I was like, if I send this to my boyfriend, there's no way he could hear his own child's heartbeat and still say that I need to get an abortion. There's no way. And I sent him that video and he didn't care. I remember my grandma and I were holding hands, and I was like, "Grandma, I'm not getting an abortion. Charles is out of my life, and nothing can stop me now from having this baby." So, Aurelie was the receptionist and nurse at Network Medical. She's the first face that you see when you walk in that door. She was so nice to me, and Carolyn too, the woman who gives the ultrasounds. When we sat in that back room and I told her about my story and the reasons why I was getting an abortion, she wasn't judgmental. She wasn't unkind to me. But when I decided I wasn't getting an abortion, they were thrilled. Aurelie and I became closer and closer. We went to youth group nights at the church, and I got to meet her daughter, and we would see each other most Sundays at church. They came to my baptism. Carolyn and Aurelie came to my baptism. And it was just really special. Like I said, I felt like I had no one at this point, and They really gave me comfort and the support that I needed during that time. My grandma had told me that Shavis is gonna be coming to have dinner over here. I thought he was this 40-year-old man. I knew that he had been injured very badly, so I was expecting a raggedy, gross, like, old man. But I saw this man and my jaw fell to the floor. And that very moment, I was like, I'm marrying this man. I'm going to marry this man. I had never seen a more beautiful man in my life. You know, we got married really fast. We met November of 2023, and then we got married 2 months later. So I'm gonna be honest, it was really hard at the beginning. We used to fight a lot, and now we still fight like, you know, anybody, but it's really amazing. We have a really amazing life in North Carolina. We have 16 chickens, and I started a bakery. It's called Bublet's Bakery because our little baby girl, Aviara, her nickname is Bublet. She is the happiest baby I've ever come across. She only cries if she's hungry or she needs her diaper changed. A lot of the time I think about it and I'm like, what would my life be like if I had let that life go? She is the happiest, strongest, like she is strong, and I mean it's ridiculous how strong that baby is. And she's just so full of life. Anyone who sees her, who meets her is like, that baby is a special baby. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Network Medical and to Aurelie and Carolyn and Polly because they changed my life, and this baby wouldn't be the miracle she is without them today, and I can't thank them enough.
When you support Network Medical Women's Center, you support women like Camille. You strengthen families in our community, and you too get to save lives. With your help tonight, we can make 2026 the best year ever. Thank you.